Good evening, welcome to Newsbite. I'm Liam Yon and making the headlines this week. British celebrity has busy week on the island. Shape takes part in swimming fundraiser. Fast jet to arrive this weekend. And your latest sports roundup. British celebrity and star of BBC's Antiques Roadshow and Bargain Hunt, Tim Wonnacott, has departed St Helena after a busy week on the island. Tim and his wife Helen came onto SAMS Radio 1's Sunrise show and spoke about what he was doing here.
Well, we've come to report for some British newspapers, so I'll be writing some articles about what's going on St Helena particularly at the moment. And it was more or less the last round trip in terms of the RMS. You know, it's going down to Ascension and it's going to return to the UK. So it's not its final bit of any voyage, but it's the last of the typical round trip voyages up to Ascension, back to St Helena and then back to Cape Town. So from that point of view, we wanted to experience that and write it up for some British newspapers. And then I'm planning to come back again in May for the first flight in. So that'll be the second half of the journalistic role that I'm undertaking this time. So last of the RMS and first of the flights, if it all works out like that.
The tourist office suggested that during his time here, he should do a roadshow, which Tim thought was a great idea. This took place on Saturday the 2nd of April at the Grand Parade.
So this gramophone has been put in a special box because the original gramophone fell apart, right? Well, that's exactly what's happened, because this thing, once upon a time, was in an HMV type case, and it broke. And somebody in the marine way of life, who got a compass box, took a compass box, this lovely brass-bound mahogany box, and put a record player mechanism in it, and created this thing, which is what it's all about. So where did you get it from?
My great-great-grandpa.
Your great-great-grandpa. Well, either he was in the Navy, or he knew somebody in the Merchant Navy who reused these parts to create this record player. And people collect these sort of players, but I've never seen one, a Decca player fitted up in a marine mahogany case. So it's quite a rarity, really. It's not worth a great deal of money.
Originally, the event was planned to run from 10 till 12 on Saturday morning, but went on for much longer. People brought an assortment of different artifacts ranging from household items through to objects which were much more unique. In all cases, Tim did his best to place them in their proper historical context. Tourism's Chris Pickard told us how the day went.
How many people did we end up speaking to? Do you have any idea of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was many more than we expected, obviously. We had put aside from 10 to 12, and we thought that would cover anything. In the end, as you know, Tim did a 7-hour stint talking to people. He was, he gave a master class, if you like, in customer relations, because he said anybody who's taken the time to come down, he would see them. So he saw over 70 people in the end. And I was estimating that he would have looked at, I think, well over 1,000 items. Because if you break down the coins, stamps, people that brought down a lot of crockery and different bits and pieces, it's got to, I mean, it might be close to 2,000 items when we actually try and work it out. And obviously he's given as much information as he can to people, but he's also taken people's email addresses and contact numbers of specific items that he's going to check more of about in England, so he can let them know more details about, their treasures.
Last Friday, Shape's clients and trainers donned swimming costumes and took to the cool waters of the Jamestown swimming pool for a fundraiser with a difference. Vice Chair Liam Yon took a moment away from the splashing and laughter to tell us about the fundraiser.
Today is just another fundraising for Shape. We've been wanting to do this for a while now. We usually do the sponsored walk from Whitegate to Rosemary Plain, and we wanted to kind of alternate it with something a bit different with them. And getting them into the water is an achievement, big challenge, but also it's good therapy for them. So today, whilst it's a fundraiser for us, we ask people to sponsor them for getting in the water, for swimming, or whatever they can do in the water. it ultimately is also for them to get used to getting back in the water, and so hopefully we can have this as a regular.
Okay.
St Helena is about to reach another milestone this weekend as the first jet plane to ever land on island is set to come in. The small business plane will be arriving on Sunday at about 11 in the morning and will stay for just under a week. After the airport inspectors on board get back to the UK, they will hopefully give the airport the certification it needs to open up. The airport itself is starting to look good, and as you come into the area you can see that they're really focusing on the small things. From outside, the building looks almost complete, and as you get inside, signs have been put in guiding people around the site. Work will presumably start soon to make sure there's a restaurant in place for people waiting on their flights. But hopefully, some of the areas, like the lost baggage, won't be needed too often. Here now is Damien O'Bey with your Sports Roundup.
In golf, 2 competitions were played. On Saturday, the monthly medal carried over from March took place. 24 players entered the competition, which was won by Brian Billy J. Fowler, who shot a net 68. In the runner-up spot was Jeffrey Foxy Stevens on net 70. On Sunday, there was a 2-team Texas Scramble. 36 players took part, with husband and wife duo Foxy and Helen finishing in the top spot on 45 points. Now, women's volleyball. Good volley Miss Molly brushed aside the challenge of volley diggers in Sunday's first match. Nicole Richards was lady of the match as good volley Miss Molly took a straight sets victory, winning the first 25-12 and the second 25-19. The second matchup saw survivors win in straight sets against Ballsy ladies. They took the first set 25-13 and wrapped up the second 25-21. Anya Richards was lady of the match. Now T20 cricket. On Saturday morning, defending champs St Matthew's Lions brushed aside the challenge of Western B Warriors and qualified for the semi-finals. Philip Stroud took 4 catches and Scott Henry 3 wickets as Warriors were bowled for 91. Lions completed a successful run chase, losing just a single wicket. Patrick Crowley had an unbeaten 56 and Alex Langham was not out on 32. On Saturday afternoon, Dolphins edged a close affair with Mustangs. Mustangs batted first and posted a competitive total of 155, their second highest all season. Antonio Green was their hero with the bat, striking 58. The left-hander started the season in good form, but failed to kick on and suffered from a series of low scores at the end of the leg. In Saturday's match, he rediscovered his form. He struck 9 fours and 2 sixes at a time when his team needed it. David Young played a gem of an innings during Dolphins' run chase. He struck 75, taking his team close to the required target. The youngster has been in imperious form for the entire T20 tournament and earned his spot at the top of the run-scoring charts. His ability to combine rock-solid defense with dexterity and brutal power has been the key to his success. Although Mustangs took wickets at regular intervals, Cody Thomas and Peter Young ensured Dolphins crossed the line with 4 balls to spare. On Sunday, Barracudas came out on top in a close encounter with Levelwood Rebels. Barracudas posted 165. Andrew Yan's 41 was the best score. Rebels got off to a flyer in the run chase, but a spell of 3 for 18 from David George saw Barracudas claw their way back into the game. Aidan Leo struck 42 and Weston Klingham 31, but Rebels finished 12 runs short of the required target. The afternoon match saw Jamestown Zodiacs go up against St Paul's B. Dax Richards scored 65 as Zodiacs posted 147, but Derek Richards struck an unbeaten 52 and Cliff Richards an unbeaten 45 to see St Paul's across the line. That's it for the sports this week. Back to you, Liam.
Cheers, Damien. Well, that's it for another edition of Newsbite. Join us again next week for more top stories. I'm Liam Yon, and thank you all for watching.